So we are currently reading the book of Exodus, and if there's one thing about the Israelites is they will complain. As in, they were complaining out of Egypt. Why are you taking us out of here? When Pharaoh was pursuing them, they were complaining, like, just take us back to Egypt. They were complaining when they were in the wilderness, when they lacked food, when they lacked water. They were complaining. And is it that us? Like, you ask God for a job, you complain every single day going through it. You ask God for a wife or a husband, you complain every day about them. You ask God for children, you're complaining. You ask God for a business, you're complaining. You ask God for a promotion, you get the promotion, we are complaining. As in, it's just like us, unfortunately, to always complain. But the bitter truth is, complaining only delays the promised land. The Israelites' journey from Egypt to Canaan should have taken 11 days. It took 40 years. So the only thing that complaining is going to do for us, it is going to delay our promised land. The language that God understands is the language of faith. God had already shown these people that I am mighty in your life. He had brought 10 plagues. He had delivered them. He had parted the Red Sea. They had seen the might of God in their lives, but they chose not to have faith. And another thing that they chose not to have is they chose not to have endurance. Because kitu kidogo ilikuwa kifanyika tu hivi, they start complaining. Why is this happening to us? You know, they did not want to endure. They did not want to have any persistence. They did not want to feel any pain or to endure any heartache. Immediately they felt kidogo inconvenience. They were already ready to doubt the might of God and to doubt the presence of God in their lives. And so I just want this to be a message for you while we are in the wilderness of our lives, because I know that so many of us are going through a wilderness. Let us just speak to our hearts and remind ourselves not to complain, but to speak faith, to have faith talk, because that is the one language that God understands, and that is what God was requiring of the Israelites. Just trust me that I can get you to Canaan. I have already gotten you out of Egypt. Just trust me that I can get you to Canaan. And that is what God is asking of you today. Just trust that I can get you to Canaan. Don't complain all the time. Don't look at everything that I've not done. Look at what I've done. Remember that I parted the Red Sea. Remember that I brought the plagues to free you. Remember that when you left Egypt, you were able to plunder the land and you left when you were wealthy. Remember all of the promises that I have fulfilled. God is asking us, remember. Have faith in me. Have trust in me. Have I not done it before? Will I not do it again? That is what God is calling us to do. Not to stay in a space of looking at everything that is going wrong, but to stay in a place of He did it before, He can do it again. To stay in a place of faith, of God, I am expecting you. God, I am in hope. I am hopeful. I am full of faith that God, you can do it for me. That is the language that is going to get us to the promised land. Otherwise, you will stay, roaming around in the wilderness for 40 years simply because we spoke complaining and we spoke negativity instead of speaking faith. That is just how dangerous complaining is. And because we all do it, this is a message that applies to all of us. Let us endure. And this has just come to me, is somebody lied to us that the goal of life is happiness, and it is not. The goal of this life is that you're going to have the presence of God, the strength of God, and the peace of God through the pain and through the suffering, because God did not promise that there would be no suffering. There's always going to be suffering. He only promises His faith. So the Israelites were going to go through the wilderness, and yes, the wilderness was going to be challenging, but He promised that I'll have a pillar of cloud during the day and I will have a pillar of fire, and you need to trust that I am well able to take you through the wilderness and to get you to the promised land. So the message today is trust. The message today is endure, have faith, keep the faith. Don't complain, and believe that He did it before. He parted the Red Sea before. He can do it again for you. Be blessed.